The Earl of Pembroke, The Wicked Earls Club, The League of Rogues, Book 7. Written by Lauren Smith, Wicked Earls Club, The League of Rogues. Narrated by Carolyn Morris. Chapter 1. London in the day was a bustling city with carriages speeding along the cobblestone streets and women selling flowers in heavily perfumed baskets while the crowds perused the shops and paid calls on friends. But as darkness fell, shadows could play tricks on the eyes of those foolish enough to walk the streets after the sun dropped beneath the horizon. And I am one of those fools. Gillian Beaumont squinted at the nearest alley, swallowing hard and holding back a scream of fear every time she thought she saw something fluttering in the mews like a bat's wings. The coach she had taken to the Temple Bar district was already rattling away, leaving her alone. The leaves of the early fall scuttled along the ground, tangling in her skirts like brown spiders, making her jump. She gripped her gown below her knees and gave the fabric a shake, trying to loosen the dried leaves from her dark purple satin gown. Then she faced her surroundings. She stood on the street close to the Royal Courts of Justice and the entrance to Twining's tea shop. Through the heavy gloom she could see the gilded sign that read Twining's, and she could just make out the two Chinese gentlemen sculpted into the stone above the tea shop's name. Their faces seemed fierce in the shadows, and Gillian looked away, turning her attention to the tall black form of the griffin statue that now looked more like a dragon because the shadows played tricks on her eyes. In that moment, she wished she was back in her warm bed, asleep and dreaming of one particular man and the stolen kisses they'd shared that kept pushing into her consciousness. James Fordyce. The Earl of Pembroke was a dashing gentleman with a heart of gold and the warmest brown eyes she'd ever seen. She could still feel her hands threading through the strands of his dark hair as he kissed her in the corner of a bookshop and whispered poetry to her. He was everything she'd dreamt of, but could never have. She was a servant and could be nothing more than that. A pang deep in her chest made her catch her breath. But she straightened her shoulders, shrugging off the pain, something she'd been trained to do for many years. As dangerous as a dream of James was to her equilibrium...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?